Thanks for tuning in this week. I'll keep my intro short again. This is the second part to Mr. Smiley, and it keeps up well with the creepy theme of the story so far. I've provided a link below to the author's Reddit story and his Amazon version. For now, though, I want you to turn off the lights, close your eyes, and turn up the volume. I told you. I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you all. I woke up to 3 knocks on my door. I was sleeping in. Not like I have a job after all. Not that it seems to change anything. I always have money for food. My bills are always paid on time. My insurance is always topped up with the best coverage. Those bullshit cell phone new benefit emails have replies I didn't write. I'm just a rat in a comfy little cage somebody made for me. I opened the door and saw a package sitting there, bound in perfect knots of brown paper. A package that had a red crayon, snapped perfectly in half, sitting on the top. Inside were all 3 reports I'm attaching to the bottom of this message. In all honesty, I just typed out what was already on the paper. I don't think the men who wrote them are alive anymore. The paper was stained with dry blood. All of it. I looked for the towns or trains or people mentioned. There's nothing. Nothing at all. Not even a mention of a mention. I looked for hours. I legitimately think my eyes are bleeding. At least, I didn't try to stop writing this one. I've figured it out now. As long as I write, as long as I tell this story, I'm alive. This thing inside me stays quiet. I don't know what will happen to me when Smiley gets done with whatever it is his goal is. But if he comes for me, I'll be damn well ready. I got myself a shotgun, pump action, 4 shots. I never liked guns, not really. Always seemed to do more harm than good. But now, I carry it wherever I go, provided it's not in public. Not that I go out much. I've developed some kind of agoraphobia. I get shaky and afraid, a deep, gut-clenching terror flooding into my heart anytime I'm in something more open than my house. I don't think Mr. Smiley wants me leaving. I don't know where he's going, but he's going there quick. You don't want to be in his way. Lock your doors. Don't go out at night. I don't know any of you, but I wouldn't wish Smiley on my worst enemy. And I'll just keep telling his story as far as he lets me. Police report, May 6, 2017. Spencer, William. I was doing a routine patrol in Central Park, 11:30 p.m. Quiet so far. I was hopeful I wouldn't find anything. I heard a scream coming from the center of the park. I didn't know where the sound came from, so I wasted some time shining my flashlight and calling out at every shadow. It took me less than 30 minutes to find out where it came from. Eventually I got into a clearing, and I saw this big, peach-looking rag. It had what looked like broom bristles on one end, and had 4 protrusions, 2 near the top and 2 near the bottom. There was mud everywhere around it. It took me a minute to realize it wasn't a rag. It was a boneless woman. Her back was torn to shreds. I could see organs and muscle, and turned to see a man with some kind of mask carrying a structure over his shoulder. He stepped into the moonlight, illuminating himself. I don't know what to make of him. I really don't. He was huge. His skin was this veiny purple, and he had a mask with a great big grin on it. He stared at me with his tilted head. I've never been so scared in my life. I got a lot more scared when I realized he was carrying a cross made of fused bone, slick with blood. I fell backward and pulled out my gun. I ordered him on the ground. He ignored me, bending down and plunging the sharpened point into the muddy earth. He patted it like some sick pet, then turned away and walked into the trees. I scrambled up and tried to shout at him some more, but he turned around and just backhanded me down. Doctors tell me he cracked my jaw and 3 of my teeth. I honestly didn't feel it. Too much adrenaline, I guess. I know I'll get fired for saying this, but I just put my gun down. I knew it wouldn't do any good. Even when he turned to look at me with those glittering black eyes, he whispered something to me. Something I'll never forget.
50 years,
he said, and he stalked off. Please, listen to me. Listen to me as someone who's been face to face with whatever killed that woman. Drop the investigation. He's long gone. And if you did find him, I don't think you could bring him in. It's not worth any more lives being wasted. Just let him well enough alone. 50 years. Police report, May 9th, 2017. Pearson, Leon. I only remember 3 things. 2 dead bodies strung up on a train car. A kid's laugh. Words written in blood. They tell me I should stay in the hospital until they know I'm, sane. I agree with them. I honestly don't know if I am sane. Nothing about what I remember makes sense. And it's not even something I could put into order which happened. I just remember I was off duty, riding to Pittsburgh to see my mom. It was her birthday, and the only gift she seemed to want was to see me for a few days. I got her something anyway. Can't remember what it was though. I heard somebody hauling their head off, and I stood up. And then everything goes black. Just flashes. Flashes of that laugh. Who would have thought a kid laughing would be so chilling? And something big. A big, bony grin. The words I saw, they were written on rusty metal, under 2 glittering eyes. Don't even make sense. Aren't even in English. I'll put them as well as I remember.
Sergeyov.
Police report, May 10th, 2017. Meyer, Andrew. My department received a call at 7 a.m. It lasted for less than a second and was cut off before anything could be said. At first, the operators ignored it. Thought it was a prank call or perhaps a butt dial. After all, who would call an Ohio police department and then just hang up? But, after further consideration, the responders notified us of the incident. So me and Kyle were sent in a car to the location of the call. It was over an hour's drive away. A rural town, deep in the heart of our state. When we arrived, we found the town deserted. We walked through the streets, trying to find someone. I asked Kyle if he thought there was a fair or an event that was keeping everyone off the streets and out of their houses. He said there was probably something in the main square, and that we should check there. I agreed, and after a couple minutes of trying to get our bearings, we turned left and made our way towards where 4 of the main roads intersect. Our map said a church was built there. On the way, the wind shifted, and a terrible smell hit us. Kyle vomited. I barely kept it together. It was the worst thing I've ever smelled. It was like if you shredded stale bacon and chucked it into a septic tank. We staggered into the square and found a sight I will never forget. Hundreds upon hundreds of men, women, and children, dead, piled onto a mound that buzzed with flies. Kyle just doubled over, couldn't stop vomiting. I just stared. Blood pooled around our feet, turning the ground to mud. We tried to radio, but they just buzzed and died. After a minute or so, Kyle managed to get his phone out, and we called the department. The paramedics counted the bodies. There were 616. I went home. I couldn't take it. You'll find my resignation attached to this document. I'm done. 6 months. So, that's that for this week. Tune in again next week for part 3. Also, check out my sub-channel for Grimm's Fairy Tales. I finally got it going, and I'll try to update it regularly along with this channel. Please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for listening.